Celebrating Women's History Month, we're shining a spotlight on a trailblazer who changed the field of meteorology. Puerto Rico's first female meteorologist, Ada Monzón. She's a central voice for weather across the island for more than 30 years. Her empathetic and precise communication during Hurricane Maria back in 2017 reached over 30 million viewers and undoubtedly saved countless lives. Her contributions have earned her prestigious honors, including being named the 2018 National Weather Person of the Year and receiving the 2019 AMS Award for Broadcast Meteorology. Her impact is immeasurable, and Puerto Rico is in great hands with her. Right now, I am thrilled to be joined by the woman herself, Ada Monzón. Ada, thank you so much for coming on to Fox Weather, sharing your story. I think it's so special because all of us meteorologists, especially us women, we always have a story that got us into weather. So I would love if you could share yours and some of the challenges that you faced coming up early in your career.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm thrilled to be with you as well. I guess that science was always my go-to class and my favorite class, and mathematics. So my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother, they were teachers, science, math, and history teachers. So in my house, there were plenty of books, and one was my favorite, the one that was dedicated to weather. So I knew very early in my early years that I wanted to be a meteorologist. And as I grew up, unfortunately, meteorology was not offered in Puerto Rico. So I went into the University of Puerto Rico, got my bachelor's in mathematics and physics, and then I went to Florida State University to get my master's degree in meteorology. So, the most important story is that, I was the first one in Puerto Rico doing meteorology. When I went to the National Weather Service forecast office in San Juan, I was the first woman, but I always received mentorship and support for the career I dearly loved. And that's something that I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's just so special. What an incredible accomplishment to become the first female meteorologist in Puerto Rico. I want to talk about Hurricane Maria. You reached millions during the storm. Just an incredible impact on the island, your home. Tell us more about that experience.
Let me tell you, even today, there's not one day that you don't talk about Hurricane Maria. That was the impact. Every corner of the island had some kind of effect, either from wind, from storm surge, from rain, from flooding. And still today, the electric system, the energy infrastructure was shattered completely. And unfortunately, we didn't have the experience with a Category 4 or Category 5 because it was 100 years ago that we had a Category 5. We had Hurricane Hugo, we had Hurricane George, and we had some Category 2, 3s, maybe a 4 with Hugo in the Virgin Islands, but nothing like that, crossing from the southeast corner to the northwest corner of the island. So that really devastated us. But as a meteorologist, as I was feeling the threat of this coming toward our island, I knew that I was prepared because all the years that you have been through your education and experience, you put that into the service of others in order to save lives. And that's where I recognized that this was a very threatening situation and we needed to prepare. So I gave my best. And every forecaster in the island as well, the National Weather Service, the media, we were a team trying to save lives. And I think that we did our best. Unfortunately, about 4,000 people lost their lives, but it was not because of a direct impact. It was not because of water or the wind. We had probably around 100 people that died because of landslides, of the impact of flooding, and others. But it was of secondary effects, mainly because people couldn't get their services, health services especially, because we didn't have any electricity. And that, unfortunately, took many lives.
Yeah, and Ada, you are such an important voice on the island. Talk about the balance that you have to have when you're providing life-saving information, particularly during, landfalling hurricane or any storm, but then also your own emotions during this event. I mean, I have to imagine, I've been through it myself. That's a struggle. And as a woman, as somebody who is, front and center giving this information, what is that like for you?
I think that empathy is the most important word when we are doing the forecast. Anyone can tell you about latitudes, longitudes, winds. I mean, you can get into an app and look at those kind of data. But when you give a message, that's something that no one can tell you unless they understand the situation, they understand the needs of the community, they understand what is happening out there, when people react and when they don't react. You need to understand, and for that you need plenty of experience before, because you need to listen to what the communities are telling you. And then you bring all that knowledge, you bring all that experience, and then you bring your empathy, and that's how you get your message across. There was no other way. You needed to understand that people needed to move. It's like a truck was coming our way, and you needed to tell them, hey, get out of the way, because this is going to kill us. Mm-hmm. And that's how you say that. And how you convince people. You convince them with knowledge. You empower them with information so that they can take the best decisions in order to save their lives. But I think the empathy was very important in the message process.
Of course, meeting people where they're at and making sure that they understand. I agree. Knowledge is power. And the more that people can know what's coming in their direction and how to keep themselves safe. I mean, such important work for you to be doing on the island. I wanted to talk very quickly about we don't have a ton of time, but the advice that you have for young women pursuing a career in meteorology, and also to just when you're looking in the years ahead of us, how the industry is changing and evolving, what does this role mean to you?
I think that the future of meteorology is very dynamic and it's increasingly vital. The way that extreme weather events are happening, they're becoming more frequent, more intense. We've had more heat waves, more prolonged heat waves as well. And so we see the relationship between health and weather that is very important. And I think that as long as we understand that we need more meteorologists, we need more people that are prepared, that they have more knowledge on the communities, on their needs, on what is happening when you have heat events, when you have extreme events like hurricanes or tornadoes. You can be more into disaster planning or environmental planning or public safety. I think that you need to show that you can interpret complex data and also communicate it very effectively. I hope that more women feel that they're needed in this career, because we need to continue to grow. We need to make sure that our communities are well served. And I hope that with the growing situations that we're living worldwide, we understand that we have a place to fill in order to be the bridge between the community and the atmosphere. We need to make sure that we take advantage of the technology, artificial intelligence, satellite, and transform the forecast into something that we can use in order to save lives.
Absolutely. Ada, just such an inspiration for so many women listening to this. I hope that they can learn something from your story and, know that there is a path for them in this industry and within meteorology. So thank you for joining us today here on Fox Weather, and of course for your continued contributions to our field.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.